Hi everybody, welcome to Broadway and Crochet. I'm Katie. I have a whole bunch of new viewers, so welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. It's been a few weeks since I've been on here. I've been wanting to come on and show you my finished objects and my WIPs and everything. But you know, it's a hard time right now. Life is kind of heavy, so but we're here. So my hair was really dirty today and I didn't feel like washing it, so I just shoved it up into this hat. This is the Autumn Dreams beanie from Daisy Stitch Co. And this is one of my finished objects. I think it's a free pattern. I don't really remember, but it's a bottom up, so you get this really nice stretchy ribbing at the bottom, which I really like. What yarn did I use? I used yarn from Asylum Fibers. It's their Staple Sport. The pattern calls for worsted, but I just held two strands of the sport together and it worked out really well. The colors are Aurora and Pumpkinhead. And I don't think you can get these colors anymore unless it's in a kit. But this is really nice yarn. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and you know, it's not too itchy. It's not soft like merino, but I don't have any problems wearing it. It's not making my head itch or anything. And I really like this pattern. It has these puff stitches, so it's got tons of texture, and it's really pretty. I think it'll be really nice and warm for winter. So yeah, I don't have a lot of Broadway talk today. The Tony nominees came out last week, 2 weeks ago, fairly recently. I haven't traveled this year at all. I haven't seen any of the shows. But so that happened. If you haven't seen Randy Rainbow's new video, you have to watch it because Patty Lupone is in it and it's very fantastic. And then at the end during Maker Plans, I have some ideas for some Broadway inspired projects. But first I want to talk about my finished objects, and then I'll talk about some WIPs that I have, and then I'll talk about my Maker Plans. Okay, so I have 3 finished objects besides this hat. I have this cowl that I made, and this is from Premier Bloom Chunky, and I really like how this worked up. It was really quick, and it's really soft and really warm. These are workable buttons. You unbutton them all, so you don't have to, I don't have to put it on over my head. I can unbutton it if I want to, although it goes over my head pretty easily. And I started with a pattern. I forget what it's called. I'll link it. But then I decided to alter it because the pattern had you sewing it together and I wanted to have the buttons, so I made the buttons. They're just little amigurumi spheres. Yeah, so there's that. And the Premier Bloom is really nice to work with. I normally don't like working with chunky yarns, but this was fine. And then I have another scarf because I'm getting ready for winter. So I have this scarf, and I started off with a pattern, but again, I changed it. This stitch pattern was for a triangular scarf, and I'll link that down below. It was a free pattern. And I started to work it up, and I decided that I didn't want a triangular shawl with this pattern. I wanted a scarf. And so I altered it to just make it a rectangle, and then I found this pattern for an edging in a book I have about blanket edgings, and so I just did it. And so it's really nice, it's really warm, and it's just a couple, well, several acrylic yarns. The grays are Premier Basics, the red is Red Heart with Love, and so it's great. Again, that'll be really nice for winter too. And then my third finished object is a gift for my mom. Let me see, how does it go? It's a triangular shawl. Let's see if I can back up. It's just a basic triangular shawl, corner to corner, nothing fancy. Again, with the Premier Basics and Red Heart with Love. Her favorite color is red, and I was starting to run out of the red, so I put in the gray stripe. And I think she'll really like that a lot. So, those are my finished objects. I have a bunch of WIPs. I have 2 blankets going on, or maybe 3. No, 2 currently going on and 1 that I planned. And then, so I have a bunch of pins, like button style pins and enamel pins. And I was seeing a lot of people on Instagram and on other YouTube channels where they have little banners that they hang on their wall and they put their pins on it, and I thought, oh, what a great idea. And I could have just whipped one up with some fabric and a sewing machine, but instead I decided I had to crochet one. And not only that, I had to be fancy about it. And so my idea was to crochet the state of Ohio flag, which if you're not familiar with it, I'll put a picture in. It's the only state flag that is shaped like a pennant. I don't know why I do this to myself. So here's the start of it. Wait a minute. It goes like this. Okay, so yeah, it starts with the O in the center, and that's just a circle that I did with red. This is made of cotton. I don't know what cotton, something from ice, I think. And then I did 4 rounds of the red, 2 rounds of the white, and those are just double crochets. And then I started making it a triangle, and it came out more sort of shield-like than it looks here. The edges were pretty rounded, and so I just blocked it fairly vigorously, and it actually doesn't look too bad. But now I have to figure out how I'm going to do the stripes, and because it comes down and does that pennant thing at the bottom, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I have to figure that out. But once that's done, that'll be fun. I can hang it up and put all my pins on it. Okay, so getting into WIPs, works in progress. I have several. One is going to be a Christmas present for my mother-in-law. Her favorite color is yellow. And the yarn is stuck. Okay, so this is the yarn I'm using. This is the yarn I'm using. It's called Lamia Silky. It's 100% acrylic. It's a sport weight. And I'm making her a cowl. And so this is a pattern that I just kind of made up. It's got a little border of single and half double crochets, and then these cluster stitches and chains. And it's super easy, just worked in the round. Turned rounds though, so you get a lot more texture. So that will be really nice. I'm working on that, about halfway done with that. And then the next WIP is my Descent Cowl. So this is a paid for pattern by Carissa Browning, I think. And this is an amazing pattern. It's about $5 or $6, but until Election Day, November the 3rd, is that right? November the 3rd, she is donating all of the proceeds from the sale of this pattern to the ACLU, and she's already made a $40,000 donation, which is amazing. So this is it. It is based on the collar that Ruth Bader Ginsburg wore when she would write a dissenting opinion for the Supreme Court. And I chose black and white, but if you go on Ravelry and look at all of the different project pages, people have done all different kinds of color combinations. This is the crochet version. There's also a knitted version, and you have to buy those separately. But this is amazing. I love it. I am getting close to being done. I think I have 3 more pattern repeats at the bottom and then I'll be done. So I'm hoping to have this done by Tuesday, election day, so I can wear it on election day. I have already voted. I voted early, which we are allowed to do in Ohio. And the yarn I'm using is this Knob Hill Yarns Cat's Meow. It is 50% wool, 50% acrylic. It's a DK. The pattern calls for DK. And it's like this. It's black and white. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Okay, the next WIP I have is a blanket. All right, this is a Granny Ripple stripe blanket. And it's just gonna be a throw, like a couch size throw. And this is just a bunch of DK weight acrylics from different brands in just colors that I had, although I did have to buy this one. Over the summer, I had made this pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I had made it for my best friend's daughter, and it was so pretty. I really wanted to keep it. But I sent it to her, and I decided I would make one for myself. And hers I made with Karen's Simply Soft, and there was a variegated colorway and a couple of solid colorways. I'll put a picture in. It was super, super pretty, and so I decided to make one for myself. And then her brother is actually my godson, and I had made him a blanket too, and I'll put a picture of that in. And I love that blanket so much that I wanted to make one almost exactly like it for myself. And I had used this Red Heart Colorscapes for it. This is the color Shanghai. It is so pretty. And so I ordered a bunch more of this, and I have a little bit of the gray left that I used in his blanket. And then I'm also gonna add some of this blue, which is, this has a little bit of wool in it. It's Lamia Wool Easy. But I think these are gonna be really, really nice, all striped together. I haven't started that yet, but I will start that soon. And I just used moss stitch for that. I just kind of made that one up. So that is that. Those are my works in progress. Okay, moving on to maker plans. So I've been thinking about how I can incorporate more Broadway inspired projects into this channel. Originally I was thinking I could make some designs, right? But designing is very difficult and time consuming, and over the summer I might have been able to come up with a design or two, but now that I am back working full time and the kids are back in school, distance learning, and I have to help them, it's just not really feasible. But I watch Setta's Place, and one of the things that she has been doing is a calendar cal, where every month she shows a picture from her calendar and she shows the color scheme, and then she crochets a hat based out of that color scheme. And a lot of her followers will crochet items as well out of the same color scheme. And so I thought, that's really a great idea, and maybe I could do that with album covers. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking, and I have two that I want to start with, and I don't know which one I want to do first, so I'll pop pictures of the album covers up in there. But one of them is Audra McDonald's Happy Songs, and this is a very special album to me because my oldest daughter is named Audra after Audra McDonald, and when I make slideshows for her birthday, I often will use some music from that album. The second one is Kristen Chenoweth, Let Yourself Go. And that album got me through kind of a difficult time in my life. And I won't go into all the details, but I love that album. It's very special to me also. And I have the yarn picked out and I have the patterns picked out, and so I definitely will do both of these, but I don't know which one to start with. So you know, if you have an opinion which one you'd like to see first, you can leave me a comment. But for the Audra McDonald Happy Songs, what I love about that album cover is that it's lots of sepia tones, and then you have a pop of that really pale mauve and the orange. And so I got these two yarns. These are fingering weight merino wool yarns. This is Drops of Jupiter from Treehouse Yarns on Etsy, and this one is Full Moon in Capricorn from Conjure Yarns, which is also on Etsy. And so I want to put these two together. And what I love about it is this one, it has lots of tones of brown, but they're very sort of cool. And I think they match the album cover really well. And then this has the pops of purple and orange and mauve in there. And I want to do a shawl pattern by TL Yarn Crafts. It's called Promenade, and it's a crescent shaped shawl. And I think this would be really, really amazing. And then for the Kristen Chenoweth one, this is the yarn that I have picked out, and it's an ice yarn. So, you know, it's called Softy Boucle. It's 100% polyamide, which is nylon. And I love the colors, and it has this sort of loopy, these loopy things hanging off of it. So it's a little bit boucle, but it's not a big chunky boucle like the Lion brand boucle. And it's super soft. And I want to do something with a hood. And it just seems like whenever I have seen Kristen Chenoweth on her social media lately during this pandemic, she kind of has a hoodie on. I don't know. So, and winter's coming up, and so I want to do something with a hood. And I really want to do, J Hook Crochet has a hooded poncho type thing, but I don't know if I have enough of this. I only bought one pack, and so I'll have to see if I have enough of that. But maybe hooded cowl or a hooded scarf or something like that. So those are my ideas. Those are the things that I want to make, and it's possible that I will just start them both and then work on them back and forth. So yeah, so that is pretty much all I have for today. Everybody hang in there, stay safe, stay healthy. If you haven't already voted, go and vote. You know, yeah. Thanks for joining me, and if you're new, a big thanks for being here. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.